So we're here at the Expedex Technology Center. We just finished shooting a marketing video, and we figured we'd try and answer some of the questions that a number of customers have asked us at recent trade shows when we introduced the Epson Stylus Pro 7900 computer-to-plate system. So I have a list of questions here, and I'm going to go through them, and hopefully this will answer a lot of questions that you folks have. And so the first question is, what is Epson Direct Plate technology? Well, this is actually Epson Direct Plate. It's a standard lithographic press plate that's been coated. It has a unique coating on it that allows it to work with our Epson Stylus Pro 7900 printer and the standard Epson Ultrachrome inks. So there's nothing unique about the ink system that's used to image the plate. Once the plate comes out of the printer, it's put through this device right here. This is a plate curing unit. Now this unit actually only applies heat to the surface of the plate and then hardens the ink, allowing it to be put on press and last for about 15 to 20,000 impressions. So that's Epson Direct Plate technology. It's really the secret that makes this entire system work. So the next question is how is it different from a standard metal plate? Well, I think I answered that. It's actually a coated plate. So it's got a unique coating on top of it of the standard metal that allows it to be receptive to the Epson Ultrachrome ink technology. So the next question is, does this solution allow me to completely replace my existing chemical CTP solution with a chemical-free solution? Answer to that is yes. This system, as you can see, uses a standard Epson Stylus Pro printer using standard Epson inks, water-based inks. After we print on that, we put it through the plate curing unit. There's no chemicals involved in this process. This is simply a heater. So you plug it into the wall, it applies heat to the surface of the plate, and that's what forces a chemical reaction, allowing the ink to harden on the plate and therefore then be used on the press. So I no longer require chemicals for my plate processor. Yes, this is no more plate processing. The entire system that you see here, the printer, the RIP software, and the plate curing unit itself all come together. It's ready to go out of the box. No chemicals, and your entire old plate setter can be thrown away. Does Epson require an expensive monthly maintenance contract like my current CTP system? The answer is no. The system you see here is as it is. You plug this into the wall, you use electricity, you replace ink on that as necessary, and you purchase Epson Direct Plate from an Epson authorized reseller. There's nothing special, no service contracts are required. There are optional service plans in terms of maintenance plans if there's a problem or a break fix. However, those aren't required, and it does come standard with a 1-year warranty. Next question is, how is Epson Direct Plate different than a polyester plate? Does it have better image quality, better press support, print quality, etc.? Most presses were made to use aluminum, not polyester. However, aluminum systems have been too expensive until now. With the Epson Direct Plate, there's no stretching on press like a polyester does today. There's no issues with having to stop in the middle of a job and reset it and make sure your alignment and your registration is accurate. This system, because it's true aluminum, doesn't stretch when it's put on press. It's ready to go. In terms of quality, we have some amazing color quality samples. We're capable of doing up to 175 LPI. And again, it supports all of the standard presses that are out there. We have about 16 plate sizes today, but we're able to make custom sizes as well. If we don't have a plate size that fits your press, contact one of our resellers and we can probably get that for you. Question is, how many impressions can I get out of a plate? A standard plate going through here gets between 15 to 20,000 impressions when it's put on press. Now you have to consider that how many times you wash the plate, how many times you clean the plate, what type of job you're doing, all of that plays into it, but you can get up to 15 to 20,000 impressions off of one plate when you put it on press. So what's the highest resolution these plates can support? It's about 175 LPI. Now the RIP itself can support 88, 120, 150, 175. 175 really is the max. We find that most people doing this type of two-color work, for example, something like this, they're going to run it at about 150 LPI. So can I use this plate for both 2 and 4-color work? Yes, as a matter of fact, I think I've showed you a sample of the 2-color work right here. Here's a sample of the 4-color. Now, this doesn't always come across on video, so if you go to proimaging.epson.com, we'll actually send you 2 samples in the mail, as well as a sample of the plate, so you can see this sample firsthand. However, the 4-color work is really amazing, and this sample here, well, for 2-color, certainly meets the mark for a majority of what customers in this segment are going to do. So the next question is, are these plates made by Epson? Yes, these plates are made by Epson. This is a unique Epson technology. We call it Epson direct plate technology. And what that means is that we work to QA the plates to make sure they meet our standards, making sure each plate is consistent, plate to plate, box to box, and ensuring that it's going to work in our printer, work through the plate curing unit, and eventually work when it gets on press. Does Epson make their plates in different sizes and thicknesses? As a matter of fact, we do. Plates come in two thicknesses, of 6-gauge plates and 8-gauge plates. They're available in about 16 different sizes today, but if your size isn't available, contact your Epson authorized reseller and they'll see if they can get you the plate that you need for your press. And the next question is how are they shipped? Well, the plates are shipped in boxes of 100 for the 6-gauge plates. The 8-gauge plates come in boxes of 50. Now, they're really well protected, and that leads me into the next question, which is, what if they arrive damaged? What do you do? Well, the boxes, as I said, have a significant amount of padding on them, so that they shouldn't be damaged. However, if they are damaged during shipment because of a rough shipment, then just contact your Epson authorized reseller, and they'll go ahead and replace that box for you. Now, I do want to point something out. If you're using the 8-gauge plates, you have to purchase this large plate accessory kit. Now this is because the larger plates require a different type of registration when you put them inside the printer. So by purchasing this large plate accessory guide, you're going to get much more accurate registration when you talk about the larger plates. Do I mount these plates like normal metal plates on my press? And the answer to that is simply yes. After the plate comes out of the plate curing unit, you put it in an offline plate punch, something like this right here. You punch it like you would punch any standard plate, and you mount it directly onto the press. So there's no difference in the way that these plates mount on press versus polyester or versus metal plates that you're using today. If I was using polyester plates in the past, do I need to reset my press mounts for true aluminum? No, you don't, unless you have a polyester lockup on your press. Some manufacturers who make presses have a polyester lockup, and those would need to be removed prior to using this. However, if you don't have that on your press, Epson direct plate mounts just like a standard plate that you have today, a polyester or metal plate. I've seen how easy it is to print these plates through the Epson printer, but why do I need to cure it? So, yes, printing through the printer is very simple. You load the plate, you hit print, the plate comes out and you're ready to go. The reason you have to cure the plate is the plate has a coated surface that has a chemical interaction with our cyan ink, but only when it's heated. So if I was to load this plate into the press without curing it, it's going to almost disappear immediately. But once you put it through the plate curing unit, it actually has a chemical reaction with the Epson Ultrachrome HDR ink and the surface of the Epson direct plate technology. And after it comes out, it's therefore hardened and ready to be put on press to last up to 15 to 20,000 impressions. Next question I have relates to that a little bit. It says, are these plates dry when they come out of the printer? Well, immediately when they come out of the printer, yeah, they're dry to the touch. But again, the reason you want to put it through the plate curing unit is because it actually has that chemical reaction which enables it to last when we put it on press. All right, so the next question refers a little bit more to the press itself. And the question is, are these plates compatible with any press ink? And the short answer is yes. Any type of manufacturer, Toyo or other, their press inks will work perfectly with this. Obviously, the higher the pigment load, the better off you are. We also want to point out that these plates work with metallic ink as well. So we're compatible with metallic ink, and any other types of specialty inks will work with the Epson direct plate technology when you put it on a press like the 3302. When I start using this system, how long does it take for my pressman to kind of get up to speed? We would recommend, after you install the system, it should take about a half a day just to make sure that everyone's comfortable with how this works. If you're using polyester today, the changeover should be very simple. There's not a lot of change in the press chemistry. And so therefore it shouldn't take more than a half a day just to get comfortable running these plates, because they are a little different in terms of pre-wetting and warm-up time than the plates that you're probably using today. What type of press chemistry should I stay away from, or what should I be using? Well, today if you're using metal plates, your press chemistry might have to change a little bit. You don't want to use alcohol with this system. This system doesn't work well with alcohol, and actually it's kind of good because the Environmental Protection Agency really doesn't recommend using alcohol anymore on a press. We have a couple plate solutions here. This is a RBP Unitrol 192. That's one of the fountain solutions we'll recommend. And this chemistry, this is the RBP Chemical Hydro Clean. That technology is a couple we recommend. You can go to our website to see a full list of our recommended fountain solutions. But the good news is, if you're using polyester today, most likely the fountain solution, the plate cleaner that you're using, should work without any problem. So what about plate wash or plate cleaner? And what happens if I start to see artifacts on the plate during a job? Again, you want to use something like this, the RBP Hydro Clean. There's a number of other recommended solutions out there. The real key is to have something that's mild. You don't want something that's very, very harsh and caustic to the plate. And then if you do see some of the artifacting on plates, it's potential that could happen. Obviously, just take the time, run through a clean, and using a mild cleaner or something like the RBP, and you should be good to go. So considering these plates are printed using standard Epson inks, should I be careful rubbing these plates with any standard plate cleaner? And the answer is you do want to use a little bit less pressure, just like you would on a standard polyester plate. However, things like the RBP and other recommended plate cleaners actually have some very good solvents inside that do a great job of maintaining and cleaning the plate during a press run. But again, you just want to be careful and not use as much pressure, just like you would with a standard polyester plate. So what are my support options if I have problems with the system or the press output? Well, first and foremost, give Epson a call. We'll support the printer, we'll support the RIP. If there's any problems with that, if there's any problems with the plate curing unit, which we have right here. If there's any problems on press, definitely give us a call first. We'll try and walk you through it. Our technicians are very experienced. If it's something beyond what we're capable of handling, we will definitely refer you to one of your local dealers. So the next question really deals with some of the other systems that are out there that utilize Epson printers. So I've seen much more expensive plate solutions using modified Epson printers. How does this solution compare to those? This system itself utilizes standard Epson Stylus Pro 7900 printer. There's nothing unique about it other than we've added this plate guide to assure accurate registration. All of the other systems that I've seen out there today that are available utilize special inks. And those special inks aren't meant to be used in this machine. But here, with the Epson Direct Plate technology, we're using standard Epson cyan ink, nothing unique about it. What's nice about that, in addition, is that with this same printer, without any changeover, any issues, I'm able to produce prints, banners, posters onto standard Epson paper when I'm not making plates. What this means is now you can produce proofs for your customers in addition to making plates on the same exact printer. And the question is, I've noticed that Epson is using a new CTP RIP from EFI. Will this solution replace my existing workflow? Well, this solution won't replace your existing workflow. It'll work within your existing workflow today. What's nice is this also has some additional functions that allows you to produce proofs, banners, photos, etc. But it's also really geared towards making plates and making sure the plates look good and have the correct halftone, etc. But using your existing workflow, whether it's Adobe applications or third-party trapping software or imposition software, this system and the EFI RIP will work within that. So can I run this new EFI RIP on my existing PC? Well, you see here we have a pretty high-end PC, and our recommendation is you always want to do a clean install without any legacy software. And the EFI RIP really does take advantage of some of the latest computing technologies, and we would recommend you get a new computer. However, you can use it on an older computer if it is a very powerful computer. Now, again, the clean install is really important because it will avoid any issues with some legacy software you have. And again, this software is very, very simple to install. So what specs are required for this PC? Well, there's a minimum level of specs, which is 1 gig of memory, an 80 gigabyte hard drive, Windows XP or Windows Vista. That's really the minimum that you need in order to run the EFI RIP. Now, what we really recommend is a higher end computer that's got 2 gigabytes of memory, a 320 gigabyte hard drive. We do recommend Windows 7, and that higher end PC is really going to make this RIP run quite a bit faster. On either, you do have to have a free USB port for the dongle that's included with the EFI RIP and supports the licensing. Will this RIP run on a Mac? Well, the short answer is you do have to have a PC computer, Windows-based computer, in order to run the EFI RIP. However, the EFI RIP itself does support all of the hot folders and printing from PPDs that support all of your Mac clients in your shop. So also related to the EFI RIP, this question says, I also see that your plates are being printed using a true AM rosette halftone. Is it coming from EFI? The answer is yes. The EFI RIP does utilize a true AM screening technology, and unlike our competitors, it has a clear center rosette technology, which actually means it does a true AM screening. Now this is great because if you promise a customer 150 or 175 LPI, you will be giving them a true rosette halftone. Now, can I use this system to produce other 4-color posters or photographs? And as a matter of fact, you can. As I mentioned, it's using a standard Epson Stylus Pro 7900 printer. The RIP itself is capable of doing proofs, banners. All of that is done inside the interface of the EFI RIP. For information on how to use that, go to the website at www.proimaging.epson.com, and there's some information and some training about how to use the EFI RIP. All right, the next couple questions refer to the plate technology itself. And the question is, does Epson ensure that these plates are consistent? Epson, much like they do on other types of media that we make, we do a lot of work making sure that each plate is consistent, it's cut accurately, the coating is consistent from plate to plate, box to box, the packaging is accurate to protect the plates, and all of that work is part of a very large QA process that Epson does to assure that you're going to get great results every time you put a plate on press. So the last question we have is, where can I go to learn more about this system? The best place to go is to our website at www.proimaging.epson.com, where you'll be able to find an Epson authorized computer plate reseller who will be able to give you a demonstration of this system as well as tell you a little bit more about where you can buy it. Just want to remind you that the Epson Stylus Pro 7900 computer plate system truly is the best system for superior press output. It's a chemical-free process, and as well, it's really going to give you a lower cost of ownership, and it's very, very simple to use. So I'd like to thank you for joining us here behind the scenes.